Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week 2 of the CCL playoffs. The last couple of games, they've been a bit of a roller coaster, really back and forth. But right now on the mics is myself, Seymour, and Visions. Cass, how are you doing, Visions?
Doing fantastic, man. We've had a crazy amount of Call of Duty action go down so far on the day on the Alpha and Bravo stream. And well, now we got another one coming up for us. We got Alabama up against Penn State White to see exactly who's going to be able to make it through the rest of the brackets. This is an elimination match, but we'll now start to dive in towards the rosters for these squads so that we can take a look for who we got lined up coming in towards the mix. And overall, you might be familiar with some of these players on Penn State White as they did just take Humber, the season 1 champions, to a game number 5. And we'll see exactly that roster that is lined up for us as we'll have Concise, we have J-Ray, Nix, Rosu, and we have Hacho. And then on the other side for Penn State White, we got Ken, Report, Senso, Shades, and Sparky. Seymour, is there any players that stand out here for you?
Honestly, for the Alabama side, we know that they're not a very consistent team. So we really got to look for Honcho and Nix if we want to see some consistency in these players. But I think it's time to move on to some stats, Visions.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at those stats here coming out at the moment. We'll see our first one. I believe it will be Alabama. There it is. They have been pretty decent within hardpoint. You see 11th within that game mode, 11th within search and destroy. And well, actually against CCL playoff teams, they are of course 3-1, suffering that loss. I believe it was up against, I want to say Concord Maroon, that map 5, where they lost 6-1, but they're 5-1 in hardpoint so far in the playoffs. And well, that's where we'll of course be kicking things off for us in the very first map, which will be very exciting to see if they have what it takes to actually push through. And then the other side for our Penn State White squad that just went to a game number 5 up against Humber, unfortunately choked out that very important game number 5 where they got reverse swept. We see they're 13-4 within hardpoint, 11-3 in search, 11-2 in domination. Well, their playoff stats have been pretty good as they've looked solid in hardpoint domination.
Oh yeah, and hardpoint, it's the name of the game, Visions. We're gonna be starting off on Gunrunner, if I'm not mistaken, and Gunrunner coming right back into this. It's a very strong map for Alabama. They might not be the most practiced team, they might not be the most consistent, but if they can take that game 1 Gunrunner where they're sitting 8-2 in hardpoint, I think Alabama can really shake up this Penn State team.
Yeah, and I mean, it's honestly very interesting because we got 7-1 right now for Penn State White. So both these teams definitely fairly practiced on this map in this game mode. And I mean, coming in towards the playoffs, Penn State White has been looking fantastic. I got to kind of put a little bit of faith in towards some of those rookie boys who have just been so consistent throughout the regular season as well as playoffs, where they're turning it up a notch. And while they had a big chance to upset the season 1 playoffs champions, but they just fell short, we're unable to close it out. So now that's what we have to look for. Are they going to be able to close that series? We know they can take the lead. We know they're able to go up 1-2-0, but it's all about closing things out, having that ice. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, map number 1. We'll see who's going to be able to take this one away for us. Penn State White up against Alabama.
Yeah, and on the red side, we do have Alabama. They're the underdogs in this matchup, but Penn State, will they be able to bring this into it? They almost took down the Titans of Humber. So Alabama, they really have a mountain to climb here. But as we head towards that first set of hard points in the first hard point in the center platform, going to be 0-0. Nobody wanted to take anything just yet, Visions.
All right, no one's going to be able to grab this, and well, this is a hill that's usually highly contested. You don't grab a whole lot of time off of it. Player number 7 is actually moving across the map, but we're seeing some team kills come through. I don't know if it's looking for a reset or if they're actually just accidentally team killing. And well, players are now leaving the match, so this is very interesting. I'm pretty sure rules do state leaving a match after already started. I'm not sure if a player lagged out or not for Seymour, but definitely an interesting start to our map number 1, where I'm sure we'll get confirmation here very shortly on exactly what is happening and what is going down, as now all the Alabama team has now left the game for us on our left side.
Yeah, we had that kind of jump coming in back and forth. Like we had to jump into it, but I guess some of these players, they weren't really ready to head into this match just yet. Possible disconnect coming out. Haven't heard anything just yet, but I'm sure it'll be confirmed shortly. And I'm just curious, Visions. Gunrunner is a popular map,
Sure.
and both of these teams very practiced on it. What are you looking for one of these teams to just pull ahead?
Well, I think there was a couple of analysts and professional players that hit on this map saying, listen, everybody in the game knows how to play Gunrunner. Like, there is essentially no team that does not know how to play this. So it essentially all comes down to, you know, winning those rotations on the money hills. You're looking at P2 and you're looking at P5 back in the warehouse in the back of the map. Those are the two spawns where if you're genuinely winning the rotations, you're getting yourself into a lockdown setup, you're likely going to be the team that's going to be coming out with the points lead and likely the one that's going to close out the map. And, you know, we do see some of those scrappy hills that are fought over, which, you know, P3 by the mine carts and P1, of course, where it is very back and forth and usually not a whole lot of times collected on it. But those are the big ones. You got to look at the rotations on P2 and P5. Unfortunately enough, Penn State White did have the rotation for P2 after grabbing and soaking a good amount of time off P1. But we'll, again, get confirmation on exactly what happens. But you got to watch for those two hard points. Those are the difference makers, and that's what gains you a lot of score and a lot of time.
Exactly. Gunrunner, very practiced map. Everybody knows how to play it. Just got to look out for those money hills because that's the name of the game when you're playing Gunrunner Hardpoint. I know personally when we hopped into that, and I think we were there was a player sitting in green. I saw Honcho over on Alabama. He got two team kills, and it was unfortunate. So I knew something was up because one team kill it's okay, you know, it happens, but 2 team kills in a row, something was a little bit fishy here. But we are still waiting on hearing what happened to the players and why they disconnected. We're gonna hop to a quick break, so everybody on the other side, just stay tuned as we'll be right back with Alabama and Penn State White. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Game 1 Gunrunner Alabama Penn State. And after that short disconnect from one of the players on the Alabama side, it was Honcho. His controller stopped working, Visions. We're going to be hopping straight into this.
Yeah, we'll see exactly if Honcho now can see if he can redeem himself or whether or not he even has the same controller. I'm sure we'll find out by the scoreboard. Well, chasing one player down, he does manage to find Ken to make sure that there's no flip of the spawns very early on, but you actually see the spawns already coming through by the minecart. 2 players are going to decide to actually hit this and go for the flood and look at Report. Report is actually already got through. I talked about this right before we cut towards the break about P2 and P5. Senso also pushes forward in the middle of the tracks, almost combines for multi-kills, but will not be successful. But while all this happens, Report is in the back of the spawn. He's playing his life. He's making the correct play. So this opens up for a world of hurt of Alabama. Do not scout this player out. And look at that, Seymour. The spawns have now flipped out, and Penn State White, they're on track for a clean rotation into P2.
I mean, we saw number 7 Report, and he's practically shoulder to shoulder with Concise, but Concise didn't see him, so Report didn't have to take the fight. We see it pay off well for Penn State, 10-5. Nobody going to be on that .1 just yet, but Alabama, they're going to soak up the rest of this first hill with number 8 contesting a little bit, but Sparky, as he goes down, it's going to be Alabama looking to break this second hard point, but 5 players spawn up for Penn State. They're going to be holding this, and they're going to be holding this strong from what it looks like.
Exactly what their plan of attack will be. 3 down. Well, that's certainly going to make things a little bit easier trying to get yourself in towards the hill. First 15 seconds have been good, but Nix will bust on through. Finds himself one. Honcho now collecting time in the hill while his teammates swarm around it, trying to find all of these roaming kills. Honcho challenges out front, but that's a big shutdown from Report, and now it's raining blue in the kill feed. Can Report. Everybody is going to get their name in the kill feed as they're going to be able to find good and strong teamwork, eliminating all the players that were flooding in. This looks like the scrap time might just be also given over towards Penn State White. They're going to build themselves up a very nice little cushion heading in towards P3. Now it's about winning these rotations to see if they can extend the lead.
I mean, that wasn't even too bad from Alabama. They only go down about 30 points going into this third point, which also can be a pretty big hill if you hold it down. But Ken, he's going to be a thorn in the side of Alabama. He finds a double kill. 4 go down for it. And on this rotation where you thought Alabama had these spawns locked down, to number 6 he goes and he pulls it back into Penn State's side. So in the hill, it's going to be Senso. He breaks through with Ken. 3 go down. Traded off by 1, but that's only Report. He was off site, so not a huge kill. If you're Alabama, you're spawning out, you're down. There's 40 seconds on this hill, and it is not looking comfortable right now if you're an Alabama player, Visions.
Oh, I know. Look at this. Concise 1 and 9. 3 seconds on the hill. He's having a real slow start. And you need your submachine gun players firing on all cylinders if you're going to find success on a map like this. Report's actually hitting a nasty flank as he's going to pinch out 2 players. Gets the help with a second. What a big play from him. This is going to lock down the remaining scrap time. So Penn State White, they're not able to find a full 60 off P2, but that's fine because they grab about half of the time in P2. They find a clean rotation. They're slaying. They're popping off. Report is on a 5-3 as he is 10 and 3. Make that almost 11 and 3 as he's finally taken down on his rampage. But this will be big for the side of Alabama. You need to start collecting some points and getting yourself back in towards the game. And it all starts with this great build.
You really see this Penn State team. They look comfortable on Gunrunner. They look comfortable on the map as he's Senso. He's on a 6 spree and he's breaking through with the boys in blue. But at the moment, with a 60-point lead and gaining, Rosu, he's the closest for Alabama. He's going to check the wrong side and go down. And honestly, if I'm Alabama, I'm really looking to make it a little bit uncomfortable for Penn State because the way they're running this map, they just look like they have the most confidence I've ever seen. And it looks like they're feeling like they can win 100% of the fights that they take. But with Penn State going into this next hardpoint, they're really going to have these spawns locked down.
Oh, for Penn State White, when your assault rifle player is 19 and 6, well, that just exactly reflects on the scoreboard, 54 to 116. Yeah, we'll see the scrap time go over, and maybe they grab about 15 to 20 points off this hill. But Penn State White, they've been moving swift. They've been moving very fast. As we'll see, Report take down 1 in the middle of the map. He's got 2 more players to try and deal with. As he'll challenge back out. Peeker's advantage for him. He'll grab 2, combines for 3. Report is just stopping the push right in the middle of the map. No one on the side of Alabama is even getting close towards the hill as Shades is still raining down. Will find himself a massive 3-piece, puts himself 22 and 7. And while 25 seconds in towards the hill, finally Alabama are close enough to look for a hit, but you've already lost so much time.
Somebody stop this assault rifle player. Shades is just, he's feeling himself. 22 and 7, like you said, not slowing down now, but in this hardpoint at the moment, there's a little bit of a scrimmage going on. Report, he's not going down. He's picking all the right angles, taking all the right fights, gets a double kill with the help of Senso and Sparky, but he's going to break it off as Concise actually, he takes that win. He's on a 2-kill streak of himself. He's going to soak up the rest of this hill, but that just seems to be the name of the game for Alabama. Just the scrap time to come out on this one, but on rotations, Honcho and Nix, they find 2. They're looking to lock down 0.2 spawns before we even get to 0.1. This is an important fight right here. If you're Radiate, you gotta pull through and you gotta get these gunfights won in your favor. But Shades finds 2, Sparky's there, and Penn State, they're gonna lock down the 0.2 spawns. Nobody on 0.1 visions.
Looking a little bit terrifying at the moment. Everybody's negative on the roster for Alabama. No one's having that highlight game or even a decent even game at that to try and match the pressure from the submachine guns and ARs. We'll see exactly if they can now start to get themselves back in the driver's seat. Heading in towards the next couple hard points that we do have. Penn State White have 15 seconds to grab on this remaining kill, and will they have the favorite spawns as well leading in towards P2 just like they did last time. Those are some deep spawns coming through for Alabama, and Shades is still raining it on as he will find yet another 3-piece. He's closing in on 30 kills, and while we're only on the reset of the hard points leading in towards the second one, Shades will get himself right back into the power position. He is just firing. This man is snapping. He's looking great. Who dare challenges him next? Tries to get some shots in, will get tagged by a grenade, so he gets pushed out, and Honcho will be the one that does finally shut him down. So again, we'll see Penn State White. They'll have the first 20 seconds, and the side of Alabama struggling to find a break, but this might be their chance.
I mean, Alabama, they're just going down. 3 drop on their side. Penn State still spawning in Water Tower, but Concise, he's trying to break through. He finds the kill. It's contested at the moment. 30 seconds, not getting the kill onto Senso. 3 more go down. Make it for Senso. Stop peeking this man. He is 25 and 10. And on the rotation, it's Report. He tries to get the kill, but that's a big pickup for Honcho. Almost at the 200-point mark for Penn State. Not even breaking 100 or close if you're Alabama. This is where you have to start bringing it back. You got to soak up some money hills, but if Report is shooting like this and moving like this, it's going to be a hard mountain to climb.
almost looking out of reach, but there is still a chance. You have to really start to find some big trade kills heading in towards this PK hill. It essentially all starts here right now. If Penn State White got the majority of this time, well, you have to assume this first map might just be closed out. We'll see Nyx laying down, hoping his teammates will be able to find the entry kills, but that is a lot of blue. Nyx can't even find the fifth. Sparky will find 3 to bust through, find the opening, and will get the break like they've been doing at about every single setup from the side of Alabama. Concise does actually find himself the 3K, but will have to find 4 before they find the break, and the team nade will actually shut him down. The kill is up in the air. Senso is just waiting very patiently in the smoke as it will be contested, and well, just again 15 points that might end up going over, but Penn State White, they are running away with this one. They can also close things out on this cargo crates hill. This is going to have to be a miracle for the side of Alabama to start mounting their way back right back in towards this game number 1.
Honestly, with Shades shooting like this gives me straight formal vibes here. You know, he's just not missing. He's taking everything right, and he is not being pressured off of this. He's really making a staple for Penn State and really putting some space on the board for their team. But as they take over, they only need 20 more seconds left, 40 on the hard point, and they are breaking through. They're picking up all of the space that they need to. They're clearing the lanes. Nyx is the closest. He goes down, and with only 10 seconds left, 4 go down for Alabama. We're going to take 7 more seconds, and with just everybody over 20 kills on the side of Penn State. This just does not look possible for Alabama. Penn State White picks up the first map on Gunrunner, and they pick it up with a 100-point club.
250 to 94. That is one hell of a way to make a statement for this map number 1. And Alabama, no one goes positive. Ken's popping off in the kill feed. You already highlighted it, Seymour. Everybody plus 20 kills. 37 comes through for your assault rifle player. Has over a 2.0 KD ratio. He has 0 seconds and 0 defense, but shopping 37 kills, and I'm completely okay with him having 0 seconds in the hill because he is obviously doing his job. He's winning his AR gun battles, and you have to look at Alabama now for as far as, well, are they going to be able to bounce back heading in towards our search and destroy on our next map, which I believe will be Arklov Peak. And this is a good chance to start slowing things down, trying to find your way and get your rhythm back, because we know this team has what it takes. You know, they took Concord Maroon to a game number 5, the very first seed in the playoffs within the CCL. So we know they have it within them, but are they going to be able to display that once again up against this rookie lineup of freshmen on this Penn State White squad? They look great. They look consistent, and it's going to take a lot to shut them down.
I mean, you really got to look at it in this way. We're going to Arklov Peak as the search and destroy. That is Alabama's best map. But at the same time, when you have Penn State White shooting the way they're shooting and just dictating the pace of the game and taking the fights when they want to take them, it's not looking really good for this Alabama roster going into the second map. I mean, everybody on Penn State, they're firing at all cylinders. I mean, you said yourself, they went the distance with the reigning champions of season 1, Humber. And it really shows in the way that they dictate the pace of the maps. They really know what they're doing. This rookie squad, they're looking to go far.
They're looking to go far, and I think the big question for me coming in towards it was, you know, are they going to be able to regain reverse sweep? You know, obviously no one wants to be reverse swept on stream, and we have not actually seen a whole lot of this Penn State White squad throughout the regular season. Actually, in fact, they had never even been on stream, so there was only just rumors about, hey, listen, this team's very good. We've been scrimming against them. They took a map off us. Humber was the first team to kind of vocalize that this team does have what it takes to actually go toe-to-toe with some of these top teams. And while this rookie lineup shows us that they have the consistency, they can play on stream, and they can close out series, but that map against Humber was obviously super unfortunate. This is a big chance to redeem yourself. It's good to get that momentum back underneath your belt so that you can start leading forward heading in towards these future matches. But I do believe we're just about ready to jump in towards our Arklov Peak search and destroy. If you're just tuning in, 1-0 up will be Penn State White as they look to try and chain 2 maps together with a 2-0 leading into map 3, but we'll see exactly if Alabama have anything in the tank to tie things up.
I mean, you really see that game 1, Penn State, they were just fast, they're swift. You said it. You said a couple players were just looking swift in that one. So if you're really looking to slow down the pace of the game, I want to see Alabama take out some snipers and hold the lanes down. But right away, we do see a trade between Concise and Honcho as Concise goes down, but Honcho picks up Senso. Shades does find Radiate picking up where he left off in game 1 and staying strong. And he's just going to hold on to this B site with leaving it open to be taken. So he's maybe setting up for the retake. As Alabama, they're sitting in courtyard. They do get stunned by Sparky. Actually, it doesn't connect, so he doesn't really see it. But at the same time, Shades does pick up Rosu. Only 2 players left on Alabama, but 2 players on Penn State as well. So 2v2, who will come out on top, Visions?
The bomb still has to go down, and you can see Honcho and Nix, they're looking to scout this area, but they might just look to make a fast rotation right in towards the A bomb site. It's been left open. And well, both of these players on the side of Penn State, they assume that they're actually stuck inside of A, but now they might be questioning it. The bomb is going down, and it's going down back towards the back hostel. So this is a good chance to get nice and cozy up in one of those rooms right now. If you're player number 1, Honcho can kind of just wait it on this round. He's already got 2 kills. You can even look to find kills on rotation as he's got a player right underneath them. And well, the sound cue must be there because he's searching and lurking, but Shades will find Nix. Now it's all up to Honcho in the 1v2.
1v2. He has the bomb down, but he's playing really patient. Shades scouts him out. He sniffs him in that position. So they're going to be trying to pinch him. Actually, Sparky's going to hop on the defuse. Shades goes down. Sparky hops off. He's going to challenge this. Nady's popped. The Semtex is thrown, but Honcho goes down. 10 seconds. Sparky will have it in time if I saw that correctly.
I think it's close. I think he gets it. It's close, but I think he gets it. Oh my God. That's round number 1, Seymour.
That was milliseconds, Visions. That round 1 came down to milliseconds. And Sparky, you know, this is just a hero play. He got off the defuse. He took it. He was going to get naded out. Honcho just had to stay alive for 1 more second. But it's a very hard situation to kind of dictate when you're just holding the off angle and the bomb's down.
That play, jumping out the window. We see Shades holding on, just making sure that his teammate can actually get the defuse. And I think there was also a moment where the player that was on the bomb had actually hopped off it for a quick moment and then hopped back on. And you have to think if he maybe stuck it out the first time, they might have gotten the round, but that's not what played out for us. So Penn State White, big clutch up round comes through, the very first one. And now in towards... We'll see shots come out right away. Rosu, Honcho both able to grab a couple of kills and get themselves on the board here. Senso does respond with 1 onto Honcho, and will try and neglect that big man advantage that was just collected there for a quick moment. And this is going to be questioning, you know, whether or not you actually hit this B site now, because you don't exactly have the numbers to do so. It's going to be a lot more difficult to try and get into B when you're not able to bait and switch your teammates. So Senso caught in a tough spot, and well, he's going to challenge out and get some great timing and make things at least a 3v3.
That's a double kill for Senso, and I want to point out the confidence in his bloodstream right now. He was holding the bomb, and he was still the first man out into the middle of the map. He finds 2. 2 players on his team are down, but Shades, he's on that hot flank, and he's just watching out for some rotations. He could pick up a big kill here if he plays this right. You're really looking at number 3 and number 5, or number 4, actually, if you're Shades, because number 4 is the only one looking over at A. Shades finds 1. Report goes down. It's a 2v2 once again, Visions, but with 15. That might have been the hero play that you needed to see. He gets the kill. Bomb goes down. Senso has to clutch up here, but it's radiating. Radiate's name.
So well done here from J Ray, as this man just able to get the last couple kills in the back. We'll now wait things out so that the dead silence will stack up a little bit heading in towards this round number 3. But for the side of Alabama, I mean, it's so crucial to get a round on the board this early, because you can almost fall into that deficit coming off of that map 1 loss, which was in such dominating fashion, you know, getting put into the 100-point club and map number 1 on a map that you've also been decently good on, you know, having an 8-2 record coming in towards that. Now 8-3, of course, after the map loss, but able to regain, at least keep things back and forth for now. But heading in towards this round number 3, we'll see exactly if Alabama are going to keep on hitting this B-bomb house, or if they're going to change things out and maybe bring out the boomstick and look to play around the left side of the map at A.
I just want to take a second. I took a look at the search and destroy stats for this Alabama roster. In the regular season, they went 4-1 on our club. It wasn't played at all by Penn State. So right now, Alabama has the advantage, but Senso, he's looking for those opening kills. Senso finds the first blood onto Radiate, and he's just going for more. He's pushing this mid lane, and he's just pushing out a strong. Honcho might be able to catch him out as he gets a double kill of his own. But big plays from both star players.
Up top, does land some shots, but gets tagged up himself, so he's not going to be confident enough to repeat that with a submachine gun. The bomb is being brought in towards B. Player goes over the half wall, but Honcho gets read like a book. Report is there. And now there's a player hitting outskirts, and we could see Report find another one, but it is an assault rifle he's going to have to beat. Shots go down, and this would be a challenge and a half. A Report decides to take this. Rosu is actually going to back down, does not want to give his life away in this 2v3 situation. They got a read on one player flanking, but Ken has now found Concise. It's all up to Rosu. He at least is going to have a little bit of time, but not much. He finds the first kill onto Ken, tries to slide in and get the bomb, but he's been shut down. Penn State wide find the flank, and they'll put the second round on the board.
I mean, the day has come where I see an assault rifle back off of a submachine gun holding a long angle. But, you know, that's just what Modern Warfare is. You know, the MP5 is not something you want to kind of take at range. That thing can shoot some bullets, some rapid-fire lasers at you. So very kind of, I would say that was the right play from Rosu. Sadly enough, his teammates did go down around him, and you're really looking at Alabama. They have to pull it together on that attack because Penn State just looks way too comfortable to get aggressive, especially if you're looking at Senso here. He's always the first one out. He's always the first one looking for a pick.
Shots go down. Rosu finds first foot onto Ken. This is one of the very few rounds Alabama have been able to find that first kill. Now we'll see if they can try and hang on to their man advantage on defense, as the bomb has actually been dropped with that kill. Rosu now responds with the second with some good wallbang shots onto Sparky. So back-to-back kills coming through for him. This is going to make things a little bit more difficult for Penn State. White shots are good for Senso, and he slips away and gets out with his life. Big play from him. He's going to now stop the bleeding for a quick moment, but he's going to have to try and regain with his teammate. They might actually look to rotate the bomb out completely. Everything has been towards the B bomb house so far on Arklov Peak, but there's the call. Senso is going to move over towards the fountain here and now break his way right in towards A. There's a player waiting for him, and J-Ray, it's going to be up to him to stop the push.
J-Radiate, he is holding down slow. He has a player right in front of him. Spots the head. Is he going to get the kill? But is he ready for the second one? He gets away. He gets the kill. 19 seconds left. Has to re-challenge it, and he wins it. Radiate staying alive. His teammate kills the rest. 2-2. Alabama clutches up on the back of Radiate once again.
That's what you need from this Alabama squad. You need to start to see some of these players bring that playoff confidence that you just have to have if you're going to be able to contest some of these top teams that we have through the CCL playoffs. Big plays from J-Ray as he will solo hold the bomb site and put his team up just by one round and bring us to a tie game. And we'll see exactly what's on the scoreboard. 62 for Rosu, 64 for Honcho. Some of the players that were not performing last game getting a little bit of that playoff confidence that I just talked about underneath themselves. But this might be the first time we see a little bit of a change up in the strategy. Everything has been B, and it looks like the whole side of Penn State is ready for this one. They've stacked up all their players. Now we'll see if Alabama can start things off hot. Sparky will find the first shutdown. Shades will find the second. AR is holding strong right now for Penn State, and they have eyes on Bomb.
I actually don't know if you can see Bomb from that. Concise might be able to play this just right. He finds one back. Ken goes down, but he's going to hold down in trenches. Sparky has an idea that he's there. He has the backup from Shades and a player up top building. But yeah, Concise goes down in that. Sparky gets the kill. J-Radiate, the last one standing for Alabama. Shades is going to get eyes on him. And Penn State, you know, they were ready for that first round of offense on that A site. And it was a great idea changing it up from Alabama, but it was just a perfect read from Penn State.
Yeah, excellent play call. Ends up coming through for us. So now we see a team go up by one, as it's been pretty much Penn State going back and forth here. We mentioned that they may not have played this map a whole lot, at least within actual games and scheduled matches within the regular season. But they're doing a good job of holding their own at the moment and potentially giving them a chance at going 2-0 up in the series. Both teams fighting for their lives in this loser's bracket. And the J-Ray now going to move over towards the right side, where it looks like we're going to have the exact same push come through for Penn State. We'll see if they're going to be able to kind of play their offensive side a little bit more different. You have to be careful waiting too long, but look at Honcho. Ooh. He's got himself a big flank, and he's going to sneak through. He's got the dead silence pops. He's got some kills lined up. The timing, it will grab himself one kill. If he can get away with his life, this is massive, and it looks like he might be able to, but he can't find the second. Report will be there for the trade, and now everybody's hitting different angles. J-Ray finds one. Senso's there with the trades. Nix is now pushed up, and this is going to leave us in a 3v3.
What did Alabama just do? I know I was ready for Honcho to hit that flank, but I did not see Radiate setting up for this. And just pay attention to number 7 there, or number 4. I think that was Nix there. It's number 5. I say so many numbers, but it was Nix hiding in the corner. He got spotted out by Report. Rosu now, he's on the flank. Everybody on Alabama playing those off angles, but I think Penn State, they're starting to catch on to this as Sensu, he just gets that flank on Concise, and Penn State, they are ready for everything that Alabama is throwing at them.
We'll see how the remaining moments go out. Report finds the last kill. Penn State White going to take the biggest round lead we've seen so far in this Arklov Peak. Search and Destroy will go up by 2. 4-2 will be the score, as Report's going to have the quick snap. We'll take the last player out. Alabama, this is where you might start panicking, because you do not want to go 2-0 down heading in towards a map 3 with this Penn State White lineup. Their submachine guns are just lightning fast. They move across the map so extremely well as a cohesive unit. So I think it is so important to take this Arklov Peak Search and Destroy. There's still a lot of breathing room to start to bring this back round by round, but it all starts here on this offense attacking B.
Report, he's sitting 6-3. He has a lot of players in front of him in the mid map. He gets some spots on a few with the stun and nade check. Senso's there for some backup over in the tunnels, but Rosu, he wins the fight in the windows. And now Nix, he's going to be looking to spot out Sensu. So Sensu, he goes down. Honcho, he's pushed into the B bomb site. He's going to go down to Ken. Ken's looking for the second one, but he jumps and he checks the wrong side. Concise, he breaks through for Alabama 4v2. Sparky and Shades looking to clutch up, but Sparky goes down. It's all up to Shades. And all of Alabama, they're just going hunting at this point. They're going to spot Shades. They're going to pick him up. Alabama 3-4. They're holding themselves still in this. Not match point just yet for Penn State. Excellent plays from Alabama.
And I said they had to find this round, and they do. And keeping things competitive. Alabama, though, still showing me, at least at the moment, they're still just a step behind this Penn State White squad, and they're going to have to really turn up some different strategies or have some very confident and aggressive approaches towards some of their next offensive rounds. Well, they will be on the defense, and we see now Penn State White play towards multiple bomb sites, have a lot more success at B, where it looks like that's where they're heading once again. Ever since the time change from 2 minutes to 1:30 within the competitive settings, it has been a lot more favored to hit this B bomb site on a map like Arklov Peak. The smokes are down. Senso will be the first player in with his teammate. They look for the bait and switches, and well, it will be a kill for Rosu, but a trade that ends up coming through for Report. Both teams will be down a player as the bomb is now being planted.
Bomb going down on B. It's going to be Senso playing that off angle behind bar, and he finds the kill. Looking for the second. He just beams on Rosu. What did he have for breakfast? Sitting 8-5. Shade set up over on Statue. Honcho and Nix. They're the last two standing. Supposedly, on record, the two most consistent on Alabama. So let's see what they can do. Honcho just runs in there, guns down Senso. So makes it a 2v2, but hopping on the defuse instantly is Nix. He's going to check the right angle. Sparky's going to go down, but Shades cleans up Penn State on map point.
Clean round. Penn State White, they challenge the bomb at the exact same time so that they leave no room for error, even if that kill goes through. And we see Shades there for the player on the bomb itself. Put themselves one round away from going 2-0 up heading in towards this domination. Seymour, this squad, it's looking good. They do not look demoralized after the defeat very early on where they perhaps maybe should have closed out and won. They have regained. They're looking good, and everybody is pretty much playing very consistent on their side. But for the side of Alabama, you have 10-5 right now for Rosu, but you need the rest of your team to start to step it up a little bit. Honcho also there with 9. The 3 remaining players are going to have to get something going, but this offensive push, it's coming in hot and heavy over towards A.
I don't like this play from Alabama right now. I love how Penn State's dealing with it, and I think if I'm Alabama, I'm really looking to slow down the play, but this is not where you want to do it, because in the fast play, it's just been Senso taking it off, but Honcho, he shuts him down. Ken does find Rosu, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, but over his shoulder, we do see Shades coming in, finding a double kill. Honcho, double kill of his own, but how will Alabama respond to this as they are in a 2v2? As Nix does find Report, 40 seconds left. Bomb not in anybody's hand. Bomb is actually down on the A site. Number 2, he's sitting in the back of the map, and Sparky and Shades, they do know the bomb is down. They're going to be holding those angles. They're going to be holding a strong 30 seconds visions. Nyx is going to find the flank onto Shades, and he makes it a 1v2. Excellent play from himself. Will he be able to find Sparky in time? No. Sparky gets concise, so it's a 1v1. Bomb has to go down because it's just going to be Sparky holding this down. Bomb being planted. What do you want to see from Nyx here?
Nyx is going to have to try and play really slow. I mean, overall, at the moment, you just have to play this head glitch. He gets tagged up. It's going to be low. He's going to now backtrack, but this player's wrapping all the way around Seymour. You might find him in the back. Nyx is looking and searching. The shots are good, so they've now spotted each other again. This is literally the same situation between TJ Holly and Celium from last weekend at the Florida Mutineers event. Can Nyx get the best one? He waits patiently, but it does not pay off. Sparky is there for the clutch. The 1v2 in the end will close things out 6-3. Beautifully done from the Penn State White squad, and they're going to put themselves up 2-0 in the series.
Honestly, that was perfect from Sparky. Sparky held that angle, and he held it off. He got the first kill, played the time, and we just saw it play out in his favor. I mean, he backs up behind the corner. He knows the bomb has to be planted by Nyx, and then he just pulls through trenches. It just tags him up until he has to push.
Done. You take a look at that scoreboard. Again, you don't have enough consistency for the side of Alabama. You have a couple players that at least go big in the search and destroy, but it was not enough to get you past that hurdle and that hump of actually closing out the map. 10 kills come through for Rosu, 11 kills for Honcho. The three remaining players struggling just like they did in that map. Number one, where things were obviously not looking great for them in the hard point. They lost 250-97. So we have to see some consistency. We have to see some of these players, pop off right across the roster. It can't just be 1 to 2 players if you're going to take down a team like Penn State White. They are very disciplined. They are very coordinated, and they've put in so much time through this regular season and playoff season. And, this shows they're able to find multiple map wins against some of the top teams. They're able to blow through Alabama in the first couple of maps. You're able to adjust and find that adaptation on the fly. This map number 3, this is where things get a little bit spicy, a little bit scary, because Alabama, they're facing elimination, and they're going to have to pull out the reverse sweep if they're going to stay alive in playoffs.
I mean, we really just saw Penn State. They're, like you said, they're patience. They know when to just run the map. They know when to dictate the pace of it, where to take it, when to put pressure on, when to alleviate some pressure. When to play it slow, play fast. They read the perfect switch up from Alabama. The first time they took the A site, it was just met with 5 players of Penn State. Just like they read that perfectly. They're up 2-0 in this. And Alabama, you really only see 2 or 3 players showing up to this match. It's a playoff match, and they really can't be slow like this if they want to take it to take themselves farther in the playoffs. They have to pull the reverse sweep, and they have to find their footing in this matchup, because Penn State's not going to give them anything to run with.
Yeah, they're not going to give them anything to run with. But ladies and gentlemen, we are now just going to throw it to a short little break, get ourselves ready for that next map here for game number 3. Make sure you guys do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Call of Duty action.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more B-Stream CCL playoffs. And, Visions, he had to take a break over to the Alpha stream, but right now we got Proper Cast hopping in here. How are you doing, Proper?
Doing fantastic. After some great musical chairs with my colleagues, I found myself here at the Bravo stream for the first time. So definitely fantastic to follow the Penn State White squad as they look for a triumphant victory here on Domination for a clean sweep of a 3-0 over the Alabama roster.
Big, quick 3-0 might be inbound as this Hackney Domination. It looks to be favoring Penn State after their hard point. I know you weren't in here to cast that hard point, Proper, but everybody on Penn State White was plus 20. Some players were in the 30 bombs, but everybody on Alabama were below positive. Nobody hit that even mark. Everybody was negative. They were struggling to rotate and hold rotations, and every single time State run over them and pick up the kills where they needed to. So heading over to Hackney Domination, that's a pretty slay heavy map. You have to be on the ball with your gun skill. Alabama, they're not looking too hot here.
No, Alabama's not looking too hot, and at least if you can count your blessings here, if you're Alabama against in the playoffs alone, they are 2-0 on Hackney Yard Domination versus Penn State White against playoff teams. They have yet to win a single one. So like you said, a little bit more of a sleigh-heavy map. Maybe Shades with that main AR could end up going absolutely off. Never really know what could end up coming out from Penn State White. They are full of a lot of fun factors. You got Ken, and you also got Sparky that could turn up at any given moment. Again, thinking about this as a whole, when you're thinking about those teams that Penn State White lost to, when you're looking at Rutgers Scarlet, you're looking at Humber, twice on over on Hackney Yard domination. So not bad teams to lose to per se. And that 155 to 153 loss on Hackney Yard domination was the reason, or one of the reasons why we see Penn State White down here, actually, which is pretty tough to see and pretty tough to say. But Penn State White, again, they're looking for the gas in the tank. They want to feel good about themselves continuing on this loser's bracket run.
Yeah, and here we go. We're hopping on with Honcho in this one. If anybody is going to pop off for this Alabama squad, it will be this man right here. He picks up a double kill. He's trying to cap B flag early, but the flank comes in from Senso. He's going to get the decap and secure B for the team. Penn State, they're coming up hot right now as 4 go down for Alabama. And on the respawns, it does look like they're going to be swarming around this B side. Will they be able to break in? Radiate and Rosu find 2, but as Nix goes down, Honcho breaks in. Report might be that hero for Penn State. B still not secured for either team.
It's going to be a north spawn for Penn State White. What do they end up doing with these spawns? Definitely want to try to either force out the OE, where Honcho is patiently waiting for the hit to come through. They already find report. Able to stuff that ever so slightly, though, Senso. Again, working their way up towards the tire shop. Not looking for any tire changes, but they're looking to change the ownership of this A flag. We'll be able to slide in here with relative ease. The spread is real good, too. You can see Penn State White do have members out over by that police car, over by both forklifts, and you also have Shades in that power position on the top scaffolding. So, yes, Alabama, they are on a CB hold. You would think that they're comfortable with this for the time being until you recognize the numbers that are starting to switch over on the B flag. Penn State White offensive response did a fantastic job of controlling the A side of this warehouse wonderfully, but Alabama, you can't count them out quite yet because Concise and Radiate, they come back for 3.
I mean, you already saw, you called out that overextension. They're going to overextend over to A. Number 0, Senso. He's the only line of defense here at the moment. Will he be able to find anything to break it off? He's going to be playing it patiently. He does find Rosu. He's going to hop out the window and look for another. 3 go down for Alabama. B is being neutralized as it was back in Alabama's hold for a little bit. But Honcho, he goes down from the smoke and Sparky, but it's a nice 1-for-1 trade. Ken, he's going to be top staircase as he does find 2 of his own. 4 more go down for Alabama, and they're being stuck inside. Actually, they're spawning over towards offices proper. They're not even spawning in A.
Yeah, no, cutting the map is really good here for Penn State White, forcing out spawns on the northern side, and making a north and south spawn, considering that Penn State White are currently holding on towards the B flag. So now when you're taking a look at Alabama, what do you do with these spawns? Well, you do exactly what you see from Honcho. You start trying to cut over towards the south side of the mid-map. It may not work, considering that you got Ken right up top, is able to take down Honcho. What do you do with this map pressure? You combine with Shades for 2, so that way you can then take this B flag and this warehouse back into your name. You may not need the A flag if you're Penn State White, as there's still 2 minutes left inside this first half, but mid-map and looking ever so wonderfully, this could be the go time. The second that they recognize that there's a player on C means that they can press on forward towards the police car and get A flag back in their name.
I mean, they're not going to even try to pressure this A flag. They're going to hop back and contest C again. You see number 0, Senso. He goes for that. 4 go down for Alabama in the kill feed with a team kill actually on report. You do see Shades. He's getting a little bit aggressive up top, but I really want to highlight Ken here. He's sitting top mid still, 8-4 on a 6 kill spree. He is not being broken on this, and it's really shown in the pressure that they have on this mid side. He's really dictating that, but at the same time, Honcho breaks in, and he neutralizes that B flag. He even turns and burns on Shades. Shades was not ready for that. Honcho sadly doesn't get the pull on the B flag, but he really eases up on some pressure that Penn State had on that mid-map. Now we see Concise. He combines with 3 with Rosu, but easily traded back from Penn State. It's a 5-point game proper, and it's getting close.
Yeah, pulling out the M19 is report able to piece together a multiple kills and it put B flag back in their name as an AR to their name and snaps onto the player on the top side of scaffolding. Well done to take down Radiate. You don't want them hanging out there for too long. CB hold here for the time being. Players for Alabama are spawning over by the C flag. 51 seconds left to play in this first half. Penn State White have convincingly been taking this on a CB hold through and through again. Penn State White, on the other hand, though, you got to be looking towards the second half, that if they can continue to hold on to 2 flags, they're going to be in a really good spot. This is a really tight first half for sure, but the second half is where things can start snowballing out of control for Alabama, considering that Penn State White will be starting on the A flag. They are going to get C. B is going to be counting on down as A gets neutralized. We're just down at 25 seconds, so we're just looking for some breadcrumb points as we go into the second half.
It does look like Penn State's going to clean up on the final points for this domination, as UDC's concise. He's trying to put some pressure back on. A flag will be capped for Alabama, so they'll get a few points in their favor going over into the second half, but it is going to be Penn State kind of clearing the pressure back off and taking the lead a little bit farther in their name. As you see Senso and Ken pop off a little bit in the kill feed, it will be Penn State leading this half 80-64, and compared to the hard point proper, this is actually a lot closer for the Alabama side, and they're really kind of keeping it and finding their footing in this. It finally looks like the guns are warmed up.
Definitely don't want that to be a stalwart if you want to be a playoff caliber team or a championship caliber team here at Alabama. You don't want to wait 3 maps before your gunnies start getting nice and heated up. But on the other hand, too, you're definitely looking at the blessing that they started off on the A flag. So the one thing that you're definitely looking at when you're looking at why A flag is the more favored side, you can just see it on the minimap. But look how close you start over towards the B flag, and Penn State White, they let them know. They're already flooding inside the warehouse building, and they're going to get the A flag, obviously, as well as flag. So now Alabama are tasked with breaking through this warehouse area where they're only going to be losing 1 member. Penn still existing here, and they're going to go down by way of the pistol thanks to Nix. Back to the MP5 after the swap comes through. Nix is on a tear on the beginning of this side, doing a fantastic job at that. But you got to be able to find these kills. You got to somehow turn this into map pressure so that way you can start pushing yourself towards that A flag, Alabama.
I mean, the 3-piece from Nix just met with a 3-piece from Ken. Ken's going to hop on. They're going to neutralize the B flag. And it does look like report top mid is going to alleviate some of the pressure here. He's going to look for another one. He takes out Concise, but will he be ready for the second one? Honcho, he finds the kill and he picks it up. Rosu goes down the Sparky, and on this rotation, you take a look at the mini-map. It will be a lot of pressure from Penn State being pushed onto this B1. You see 3 players setting up with the help of number 8. He hops in there, but 3 go down for the side of Penn State. Make that 4 as Honcho. He pushes out, and he makes an immediate break for the A flag. It does seem like Honcho is going to try to neutralize this and just bring Alabama a little bit closer to tying it up, as they are only down by just I think 18 points here, proper.
Yep, just about 16 now. As you can see now, it's finally going to be a C flag that will be in Penn State's name. Report works their way up towards the tire shop. It's then going to be soon met with Concise. Concise will win that one, so the A flag is going to stay in the name of Alabama. Really big moment and opportunity here for Alabama, not only to be encroaching on the lead, but to take it and the map too. We still have 3 minutes left to play in the second half here on Hacking Our Domination. Penn State White are starting to reel. They aren't going to get their C spawns. They're going to get the C flag in their name, sure. But then you got to start flooding in towards this B flag. You got to start working the mid-map pressure so that way you can get the B flag. And then you got to find that wipe, that same exact wipe in the mentality shown from Alabama that brought them over towards the A flag. They won't win the initial gunfight. It's just Ken that's left alive over here. Shades is going to be looking over their shoulder just to help things out. But you got to be careful of the headies and every other opportunity that Alabama are currently taking away, as Nix and Radiate, Honcho, Rosu are right there for an offset wipe. 5 members go down. And now this is a firm control coming through from Alabama on the next point and tick to come through. It's 110 to 107. Alabama are starting to take themselves back, and they're going to take the lead.
Yeah, we do see the lead will take over in just a little bit. Penn State just holding by 1, but 2 flags with Alabama will mean that it will be a tie game. But with Honcho popping off like that, I know he started to heat up in that search and destroy. He started to pull it back a little bit for Alabama. A flag getting flipped over. It's nice to see, though, that Honcho is keeping his team in it. I want to touch up, though, on those flag touches. You got 14 between Radiate, Concise, and Honcho. They don't even have to match Penn State in the slaying, because if they wipe them off the flags and hold them in the spawn and they're just playing the flags perfectly to keep themselves in this. They're not keeping up with the slaying, but they're keeping up in the objectives, and I like to see that properly.
Do like to see that for sure. Draw a game, though, in the previous point tick that came through. 2-point lead now for Penn State as they finally broke past the A flag and they get it back in their name. Back in forth on the A flag to go as Honcho look to get that flag back in their name. They're going to get it neutralized, and that's a little bit of a consolation prize because now you're still splitting members for Penn State White. Very close match here as we're down to a minute and 15 on the second half. University of Alabama, they're not out of it yet. They're still working this B flag. They're going to meet Penn State at the door too. They're going to be able to get this back in their name if they win the gunfight. Radiate is right there, but Report shuts them down. Shade's going to come in and take down their own teammate, but it's all for naught because Nyx is finally going to go down by way of their own teammate too. Penn State White are going to be able to win this if they just hold on to the single flag, and this is now go time for Alabama. You get your spawns on the north side. You try to flood over towards the A flag, or you flood into the warehouse. One or the other needs to come through from Alabama, and they've got the kills to do it.
You just see Honcho, he runs in there with the knife and he pulls it back a little bit. So it will be B flag being capped by Alabama, but look at that! C flag, it's neutralized and it's capped for Penn State. They're gonna hold the CA, but A flag, it's pushed immediately out by Alabama. 29 seconds left. Will Alabama be able to take this back? Honcho, he's looking for a pick, but Sparky combines with Senso for 3. Neutralizing is C. Capping is A. Alabama is being shut down by Penn State. And I think it's mathematically impossible. I'm pretty sure Penn State will be your victors of this match and move on in this lower bracket with a hot 3-0 over Alabama.
Penn State White will be going on into a losers quarterfinals where they will be meeting Concord Maroon. It was such a small glimpse of an unfortunate error. Small error is definitely going to come back to bite Alabama in the rear. You have to win your initial gunfights, and you have to win a series of 1v1s, 1v2s when you're trying to combat against Penn State White on the A flag, on the B flag, and the C flag. The only way that Alabama were going to be able to come back and win that is if they were working a neutralization on one, and they were able to hold on to 2 flags for the last of Penn State White. We know that their gunnies are hot, we know that they're ready, and we know that these freshmen are hungry to go on in towards this losers bracket. Like you were saying, they are not done today. They are not out of the count, not quite yet, because Penn State White, again, they're going to go on towards losers quarterfinals to face Concord Maroon, who are definitely hungry individuals too after losing to Texas A&M Maroon in 5.
I mean, yeah, both teams, actually, Penn State and Concord, have both met the demise in map 5s to lead into the loser bracket. I know Penn State lost to Humber, the previous victors of the tournament, and going into this loser bracket final against Concord, the #1 team of all. You know, that's going to be a tough one for Penn State, but you just went map 5 with Humber. You're looking good into this. You got a quick 3-0 over Alabama. You had a nice 100-point club over on the gun runner hardpoint. It's going to be a tough one for Penn State, but I think the rookies, they're looking to just kill some Titans.
Titan killers, maybe. David and Goliath situation, possibly. I mean, you're dealing with a whole bunch of veteran instincts. Concord Maroon have been putting their heads to the grindstone and practicing in and out of CCL through a multitude of different tournaments, lands throughout 2020 before everything got shut down to COVID. But Penn State White, again, the hungry freshmen that they are. The first time that I finally got to see them on broadcast, I was looking at their numbers and I was like, yeah, I mean, like, those are great numbers through their division. They look fantastic. And then they come through and smoke Full Sail. And like you said, when they went to map 5 versus Humber, I became a firm believer. This is going to be a really tough match and a true test for Concord. If you can go 5 against Texas A&M Maroon, you got to keep your heads held high and clear if you're trying to take it against Penn State White, who are definitely showing up to play today.
I mean, we're heading down to the nail biters of teams. You know, it's just, you can look at the skill gap between all these teams and you can look at the previous records and what they played each other, but it's playoff time and all of these teams are showing up and they are just millimeters away from each other's skill. There's not one team in my brain that is out here to take the win. The skill is so close in this matchup, on all these matchups, proper.
Yeah, no, the skill is definitely going to be matched. We talked about this in the pre-show on both streams too, that once you start getting down to the wire, sure, you were able to walk away with your division. That's fine. Sure, you were able to walk away with an impressive stat numbers through those divisions in the regular season. That's cool. But at the end of the day, once you get towards this top 8 situation, once you get towards losers quarters, once you start inching your way to where Texas A&M Maroon and Humber find themselves, which is happening on the Alpha channel, keep in mind for winners finals, yeah, the competition, it's only going to get hotter and it's only going to get heavier too. So we're going to throw things to a small little break here, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to have more action on this Bravo channel. Hop over towards the Alpha channel so that way you can go watch that hotly contested matchup in between Texas A&M Maroon versus Humber. We'll be right back after this short break.